Welcome to Your Success Podcast. We give you actionable insight and stories behind real-life success wherever you go.
Welcome to Your Success Podcast. I'm Angelos, and today I'm really pleased to be interviewing the one and only Mr. Dan Anson-Hart. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, Dan, you are a bit of a prodigy, really, because you've done an amazing amount of stuff in a short space of time in the world of property. So, do you want to just explain a little bit about yourself and why people should carry on listening to this amazing podcast?
Thank you. If I'm honest, you very rarely just stop and reflect, so it's good to have this opportunity, I suppose. But me, grew up in North Somerset. When I say where I come from, most people think I grew up in Butlins, because I grew up in Minehead. Loved school, loved sport, thought, you know what, why not become a PE teacher? So I studied to be a PE teacher down in Plymouth, Marjon in Plymouth. Met my beautiful wife there, who was also studying to be a teacher. We then followed the jobs, essentially. When we graduated in 2011, it was really tough to find jobs. The competition was very, very fierce. So we decided if we got the first job, we'd go there and be competitive like I am. I was very disappointed to lose that one. So we moved down to Dorset, where Jodie got her full-time teaching job, where it was really tough for me, to be fair, because for one PE teaching job, there was about 55 applicants on average, I was informed. So you can imagine it's a tough crowd. So I was thinking about this on my way here today, and how did I do that? And I think I would have been director, instead of director vendor marketing, I was director head teacher marketing myself, essentially. So I was going around every school in the area, giving my details in personally, whereas most other people would just go on the supply register. So I was trying to put myself out there, and that set me in good stead, to be fair. So I managed to get quite a few long-term positions there, led to a full-time position, worked my way up to a few TLRs, so teacher and learning responsibilities, so head of department and head of achievement in the school I was at, but very quickly realised that the more I gave, the more kind of crap I was given for a little reward. So I just felt like, what am I doing this for? And I just couldn't see myself doing this for another 30, 40 years. So it made me, I was just losing my flair and losing my passion for that. So Jodie and I never really settled in Dorset. We decided, look, we need to change something. So we took the big jump and I moved into sales. So PE teacher comes sales.
So selling what?
I joined a company where we were selling insulation products, basically. So I simplify insulation as you've got fluffy stuff, you've got rigid stuff, and we sell shiny stuff. So yeah,
space foil.
The space foil,
yeah,
the space stuff. Yeah. So that's simply it. So moved down to Cornwall, which is where Jodie grew up, and they let me in. They let me in just.
Counted family fingers?
Yeah, family fingers, the toes were the issue, but we got around that. But yeah, no, we lived in Cornwall now. We moved there 5 years ago. So I've worked my way up to a national role in my current company now.
I've got to say, Dan, I've seen some of your videos.
Easy, what website?
Not those videos.
Not those videos.
No, those, WhatsApp one.
Yes.
Yeah, anyways, you do some pretty cool installation style, how to install installation and all that kind of stuff.
They use me because they say, if we show people you can do it, they see it to the approved. So, that's been part of it, really.
So have you always wanted to then, no matter what role, no matter what you do, to always try and strive to be the best at what you can, rise through the ranks and be the top guy?
I think so, yeah, just competitive. I think it's just the competitive nature of me, just naturally in sport. I've always wanted to be the best. And to be fair, I've never been the best in the sports I've partaken in. I've always been kind of maybe just above average, but I've always been not necessarily technically gifted in those sports, but I've always been the hardest worker. I think that trumps gift, if you're prepared to work harder than someone that is physically more able, I think that outweighs it and gets you further down the line on the term. So
we're going to touch on how you managed to create your portfolio shortly. So you've done a lot in a very short space of time. So you're working away, you're happy, showing the world how to install insulation. Making a difference in the world.
Making it a lot warmer.
Making Greta Thunberg very happy with you.
This is very true.
Yeah, so shout out to Greta there. So what happened, Dan? Where do you go from happy employee to actually, is there something more in life that I can possibly do?
I was happy, Angelos, until I went to a family wedding. No, this is it. It's just crazy because I had no issue at all. I was happy in my head. I was like, I'm just going to work my way up the ranks. And the issue I was having is that with the role becoming more national, living in Cornwall, me having to get to Norwich, having to get up to Sheffield, it's taken a couple of days for me because I can't do it all in one day. I've done it a few times because don't have to stay away. I've got a young family.
So how far is Norwich from where you are?
Too far. Yeah, it's too far. I couldn't tell you the miles off my head, but
hours.
It's a good 6 hour probably. So that's one way. And I did 6 hours. I would leave at about 4:30 to get there, do my meetings for there, and drive back in the same day, just so I could get home to be with the family, because I just hated staying away.
Because you got 2 boys, haven't you?
2 little ones, yeah. 4 and 2, Noah and Jude. Amazing little boys. And so what happened, Angelos, was I actually went to a family wedding, and there was Jodie's side, and the groom. All I knew of the groom was he was a builder, and the best man in the speech just mentioned that massive well done to the groom. He's acquired 5 properties this year. How the hell has he acquired 5 properties? No disrespect. He was just going to build it. In my head, to acquire 5 properties, you need to be an investment banker or a million. So I was like, hang on a minute. So don't judge me, but I stalked the hell out of him on Facebook. No, don't judge, we've all been there. So no, I was just really intrigued by how he'd done this. So basically went for his feed, and I found out that he'd actually gone to property training courses. I then did research into property training course providers. I didn't even know there were training courses for property. All I knew was Homes Under the Hammer and all the average standard stuff. And to get into property, you needed money. But very quickly, I learned and found that there were creative strategies, there were ways of doing it, as you do so amazingly as well. And that's another story. But yeah, that opened my eyes. So I read loads of books. Obviously, I'm in the car for hours on end. I'm doing about 800 to 1,000 miles a week on average before COVID.
That's mad.
So a lot of time, and I've not listened to the radio for a good 18 months now. Where I was,
you haven't missed much.
No, well, I was very good at karaoke. So yeah, no, I've just read loads of books now, listened to hours and hours of podcasts such as this, and learned so much. And yeah, started networking. I looked locally, what networking groups have I got locally? PIG, Professional Investment Group, with me living in Cornwall, the biggest kind of PIG event I could see was Plymouth. So I thought, well, I'll make the effort to go to Plymouth. And that's where obviously I met your beautiful face, sir.
Indeed.
It was actually Valentine's week.
It was. Yeah, well, Valentine's Day even.
I think it was actually.
Yeah, it was 14th, and I guess our eyes just hit us at the welcome meet and greet table at the start, and then there you were, and I knew it was love.
We just couldn't go handshake, could we?
Yeah, we couldn't handshake, we hugged it. Oh, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess when I saw you for the first time, it sounds a bit cliche and whatever else, I know this is being recorded and hopefully my wife won't listen, but I had this like weird connection with you, because it was like, this guy, I can tell he's going to go somewhere. I just knew that you had this drive within you, and I thought, this is someone to just definitely make contact with at the end and just see, what you're doing and what you're looking to do. And I'm glad we did, because fast forward now, that you're running one of the PIG events in Cornwall. You're doing a fantastic job of running that property networking event. And yeah, the property stuff, which we're going to come on to in a short while. So you started networking, and then how did that go for you? I mean, what were the next steps for you?
I'm a hard sell person. I don't buy into stuff very easily. I don't part with cash too easily. And it's the first event I went to a PIG, and thank you for the contact, because honestly, it's massive thing and a massive benefit of me getting where I am now. And reason is because of you and PIG, so thank you. That means a lot. But yeah, so what happened to me, that event is what happened to me. It was Francis Dolly that was speaking at that event, and it was all about rent to rent.
Good old Francis.
Good old Francis, and Will as well. And yeah, when I got to the event, I was like, rent to rent, why would anyone touch rent to rent? Why would you want to put money into someone else's building?
So for those of you who are listening, rent to rent is...
It's essentially, in my mind, it's a short-term strategy to gain cash flow. So the idea is that you've got an existing property, a landlord's property, you're going to offer to long-term lease it from them. So essentially, you've got a property, Angelos, I will be your tenant. I will lease the property from you for 3 to 5 years. But what I'll do is I will then rent out the rooms room by room. Essentially, it's the council been doing this for years, but it's a long-term, it's like a commercial lease essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, we take a profit, an extra profit. So we get the profit from the room rent, we pay all the bills, pay the landlord the agreed rent, and anything left at the end of the day, at the end of the month, is then our profit in the pot. So that's rent to rent. I just couldn't get my head around it why, but that hour with Francis and Will at PIG, Plymouth, that February evening, really opened my eyes, and I was like, you know what, this could work, because originally I knew I needed cash flow, because being full time, I need to get myself cash flow so I could eventually move away from my day job to free up my time for the family. But I looked into property sourcing, and I very quickly realised that I can't do that in the limited hours I've got. I just can't do that well enough. If I can't do it well enough, I'm not prepared to do it. So I was direct to vendor marketing for property sourcing, set myself up compliance-wise, everything up very quickly. And it wasn't until I got to PIG that night that I realised there's a better way and there's a quicker way of me doing this, needing less time on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, joined the training course. They did a one-day training course down in Bristol, or up in Bristol, and literally soaked up everything. I paid a little bit extra because I took my wife Joey with me because I thought, I can't do this on my own. And I can't sell this to her like they would be able to.
Plus you had to make up for Valentine's Day.
Plus I had some crowd to make up there. Yes. So yeah, I took Joey along and it was an amazing day. Again, hats off to Will and Francis. I can highly recommend it because they're just great guys. I just couldn't click with them.
Francis is hilarious. He cracks me up. His dry humour just gets me every time.
Yeah, he can hold a room well.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
I think it's just our kind of humour, I think, as well. Sarcastic, dry, witty. I'll speak about you then.
Yeah, well, hilarious. You should hear our other podcast.
Yeah, correct. And those websites you mentioned. And so yeah, no, got trained. Literally, I've just followed what their success story. Really, I've followed every step that they've advised. I've just done that. It's not worked straight away, but the key is just not to give up. And yeah, so I've just implemented what I was taught and cookie cutted it and kept repeating the process essentially.
Okay, so let's look at some stats and facts. In a short space of time. So when did you start? 2019, was it?
Yes. What year are we in now? Yes. So February, February time.
Yeah. You started early last year, and fast forward to where we are now. So this is recorded in August 2020.
Yep.
What have you done, Dan?
Yeah. Again,
what's your score sheet?
My score sheet. So we said January, February time. That's when I started property sourcing.
Yeah.
I didn't properly do it. I just got myself all set up, and it wasn't until I actually took a bit of a. I wonder if he's going to listen, but a good friend of mine was getting married, and we were meant to go on a stag do to Portugal, and I paid the hotel. I paid for the flights and the hotel, but the next training course that Francis was doing was on the weekend of that stag do, and the next one wasn't for another 2 or 3 months, and I was like, I can't afford to miss this because I need to get started now. Once I've got my head in where I want to be, I'm going there. Yeah. So I pulled a sickie on the stag do.
What? Oh, damn.
I sacrificed, again, I'm so sorry, Chris, if you've ever do this.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah, we'll get you on this podcast one day and hear your side of things.
This is it, obviously. But no, he's an absolute star, but I just couldn't miss this opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I sacrificed the stag do and went on this training course with Joey, my wife, for the weekend, and best thing we did. So, yes.
Dan, I would act shocked, but I did exactly the same for my own stag do.
I didn't stag do.
My own stag. Yeah, I did actually make it, but it's just we rearranged it by a week, which annoyed everyone. But it was my stag do, so it kind of.
What was it for then?
It was a training course for internet marketing. I took Thea with me, my Valentine's gift to her, and she's gone on to create her own social media advertising business.
Oh, wow.
So she does all the social media things, and she's made a considerable amount of money from it. It's fantastic. So sometimes, Dan, you've got to see the bigger picture, right? But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Definitely. I think it's those sacrifices that you've got to be prepared to make if you want to. I think that shows the drive as well.
Yeah. So okay, so you've done that.
Yes.
So from when did you actually start? Was it?
So the course was in March.
Yeah.
Our first letters that we started sending out to landlords to start marketing ourselves was April. So April 2019. Secured our first deals in July, so literally a year ago last month. Yeah.
So 12 months.
12 months.
What the hell have you done there?
So as of yesterday, we've got 7 properties now. 7.
So 7 rent-to-rents.
Rent-to-rent / purchase lease options.
Brilliant. And I know you're also looking at to buy as well.
Yes.
Block flats.
Yes, we've got 2 under offer at the minute.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, now I'm starting to put on paper and thinking that shit.
Yeah.
No, definitely, yeah. So
you've been one busy boy.
Yeah.
So just walk us through perhaps your first deal, and then we'll have a look at some of the other aspects of the top level property management side of things, running it alongside your business in as well. So how long did it take to get your first deal? How were you feeling? Were you nervous? How did you overcome these kind of challenges?
I think that the nerves always, just put yourself out there when you're not used to it. I think that's been the key for me, is just getting over that. And I've kind of learned to really enjoy fear. But I was nervous probably to speak with you this morning. I know you're a good friend for me now, and we've done so many chats together, but still, this was a different environment I was nervous about, but looking forward to it. So yeah, getting the director and the marketing out, I sent about 250, 300 letters out initially, got 5 responses of those, and from those 5 responses we converted 3 deals
That's really good.
from two landlords. So one landlord bought two properties. So first deal was from a portfolio landlord. It's a 5-bed student house. But generally what we're finding is we're taking over properties in Falmouth in Cornwall, and it's a nice student market in Falmouth, but there's a lot of purpose-built accommodation now being built in Falmouth. So more of the old traditional student houses from the just houses like just general houses in the streets, they're not being used as much anymore. So they're becoming more vacant, harder to fill. So the landlords that are struggling to fill the houses, we're kind of going and approaching those landlords predominantly. So this particular property was struggling to let, hadn't been struggling for years and years and years, but it was quite evident why it was struggling to let. It was run down, not been loved. The landlord had just done the odd cosmetic bits here and there, but it was a bit of a dive. So we offered to take the property on this one. We offered a 3-year contract, because it's the first one where we wanted to just cover our backs. 3-year contract, and we were given a guaranteed rent. We would contribute to the refurbishment, but the landlord already admitted when reviewing that he was going to put new kitchens in and things. So we just said, well, look, we'll still do that. We'll push property project to manage that for you, and we'll just top up and do a bit more ourselves as well, like painting, decorating, and the odd cosmetic bit here and there. So he was really pleased with that. So we took that property on. A lot of figures here I wrote them down just because I'd never remembered them all. So that's a 5-year deal. It's a 5-bed on a 3-year deal. Cash coming in, so rent per annum a month is $3,750. So that's what the tenants pay us. We then pay all the bills, so gas, electric, water, council tax, broadband, etc. The landlord's rent we pay, and at the end of the month, after all the bills and the landlord's rent is paid, we profit on that house £860. The initial input we had in that, we put in £3,700. So within just over 4 months, we were cash flowing positively. But that's without us also negotiating a 4-week rent-free period. So we didn't pay rent for a whole month whilst we're doing
Once you did the works,
yeah. We managed to do the work slightly quicker and get it let slightly quicker. So we were profiting a bit earlier. So yeah, that was just an example there. And it wasn't until Francis and Will put those sort of numbers in our minds that, crikey, I'm profiting on this particular property £860 a month. I don't own the property. And it doesn't take many of those to get you in a really positive, strong position, really. And we've just literally followed that process, and we've now got literally just yesterday verbally agreed our 7th. So you can imagine just multiplying that as you are, you can quite quickly see.
Oh, that's fantastic achievement there, Dan. You should be really proud of yourself, because it's not easy with a full-time job, and you're a father, and you're travelling to Ipswich, Norwich, any other witch out there. So it does take a lot of time. So what challenges have you experienced to try and keep growing the portfolio, but also maintain your job and maintain being a family man and all the other bits and bobs that you do on the side? And pay.
And male
modelling.
I do that very late at night. But, for me, I think it's been segmenting my days. That's just been key, and prioritising, definitely. I'm very much one of those, I say I'm going to do, I'll do it. And what comes first is always my family. My family always comes first. And that's the reason I'm doing all of this, is I want freedom. I don't want to have to be travelling away and missing time with them. So I'm doing this all for my family and our freedom and our future. And what I've had to do is just segment my days. I get up extra early, I go to bed a little later. I prioritise certain tasks and things. If things can wait, they're not, we call it high income generating tasks, and they can wait. They don't have to be done today, they can wait. There are other things that I need to do. So saying all this, it was my little man's, my big little man, Noah's his 4th birthday last night. I was up just catching up, because obviously we were celebrating his birthday. I was up probably about 2 this morning, just because it wasn't hard work though, because I'm enjoying doing it, but that was me just keeping on top of the day job, because I stopped doing the day job a little early yesterday because I wanted to celebrate with the family. So you just try to keep everyone happy, keep everyone off your back, doing what you need to do. And yeah, since property, I've also had a little promotion at work, so although I've been doing this, I'm still trying to give the best of me to every avenue. So yeah, I think the key really, Angelos, there for me is just segmenting my days and prioritising the right tasks.
Being disciplined.
And disciplined,
yeah. You don't get to where you are without an element of organisation, discipline, and like you said, it's just planning out your day.
I've had a lot of people come to me about how you use a discipline, how you sort of regimented in what you do, and I think it's because of my why is so strong to me. I think, why am I prepared to go to bed at 2 o'clock and wake up? It was about 6 this morning just to catch up. That's not regular, that's a one-off, but it's just an example that wasn't hard for me because I've got that vision inside. So I think the biggest thing I can recommend for anyone is get that why cemented in your head. Why are you doing this? What is the reason you want to be doing this? Because in my head it's so strong and clear. It's not hard work, because is going to happen. It's just a case of waiting.
Yeah. And when did you decide your why? Was it at the wedding?
I don't know. I think the wedding, it was just a case of, how the hell has this guy done that?
Yeah.
Why can't I do that if he can do that? And with regards to my why, it wasn't until I was starting to listen to the podcasts that you do and what people class as success and freedom. I was just travelling so much. I was thinking I'm missing so much, and it wasn't until my boys were starting to say, "Oh, Dad, I miss you," or "Dad, you're going to work again." It's like, it's horrible, but I hate that. See, work is work. You've got to work essentially somewhere and earn money somehow. I didn't know anything other than just getting a sales job, getting a job, and do that for 34 years. But yeah, the why very quickly was I'm missing so much of my family time, and I'm never going to get it back. And I ran out of annual leave one year. I was like, crikey, I ran out of annual leave. I can't go on holiday with my family because I've taken so many little days here and there because I was taking it for property stuff. And I was like, I just can't be doing this. I want to go on holiday when I want to go on holiday. I want to treat my family when I want to treat them. So I think it's slowly got stronger and stronger the longer I've been doing property on the side of my day job. That why has just got bigger and bigger and bigger for me.
And now you've got no choice, you've got to finish your mission, right?
Yeah, no, it will. The difference is, you know very well, I do actually really enjoy my day job, which makes it a little harder as well. And I have so much respect for my bosses, and I really do. They are friends as well, because anything they've ever promised, they always deliver, and I'm so loyal to people that are like that. And yeah, they've always done right by me, and I've always done right by them. So I'm really transparent with my line managers and my directors, and they know exactly what we're doing now, and they're prepared and they're okay with that. I've given them the kind of timeline, so I'm so transparent and honest with that, because I just doesn't sit comfortably with me otherwise. So they know that the long-term aim is for me to leave the day job. What I've not honestly been clear about is when that will be, because there's so many little factors there. I know you're constantly on me like, Dan, when is this going to be? When is this going to be? And I suppose it's a case of, oh my God, it's the scary stage of, oh my God, I've got to take the plunge at some point. I'm in a nice position where I could afford to take that plunge now, but at the same time, if I'm still managing, I've still got that security with family. It's just that.
And one thing you have stressed time and time again is that you want to do it in a great way for both you and your employer as well.
100%.
You want to do it in a magnanimous way, and this is why you've been so transparent with them, because at the end of the day, you don't want to burn any bridges. You know, they've looked after you. I know you've always stressed that, so it's just about making sure they're happy as well. But at the end of the day, you have to put your family first. You know, no one can ever blame you for doing that. So what is the future then for Dan? Where's the next 12 months? Where do you see yourself going?
I'm really excited. So again, just the power of networking. I've met you. I lead Pig Cornwall, it's a property investment group Cornwall. That's brought me so many great opportunities. I've met some amazing people. As a result of that, I've now joined and started a business with one of the other attendees at Pig Cornwall, in a very similar situation to me. So still in the day job, but building a portfolio on the side. And he's done amazing things. We've really clicked. We've kept in touch for quite a long while now. But it wasn't until COVID hit this year that we thought, you know, we could do some real amazing things together. So we've joined forces, and we're teaming up, and we're going to build a portfolio together. And just, it's not necessarily, I know people think, joining forces, you have to split the profits. It's more than that for us. It's not all about the money for us. We actually thoroughly enjoy doing the due diligence together, the viewings together, things like that. It's just having that someone else that's holding you accountable, pushing you, and sharing the journey with. So really looking forward to that. So we've had offer accepted on a block of flats in Newquay, and we just had another offer accepted on a block of flats just outside St Austell in Cornwall. So yeah, exciting times for us. And if I'm honest, you mentor him as well as I see unofficially me, and just what you've achieved as well has massively inspired us both. And just seeing, wow, if Angelos can do this,
anyone can do it.
Why can't we do this? But no, it's just massively inspired us, so thank you for that as well. One, for the Pig platform, and two, for just sharing what you do and the knowledge you do, because it is massively appreciated, and that's what's driven us both on, and that's what we're going to follow in.
So Dan, your journey doesn't end there, because we've got some writing to do.
Yes,
haven't we?
We have, yes.
So do you want to, this is like a world exclusive here.
This is, yeah.
Forget Shakespeare, forget the Bible. Shake what?
Shake what?
Shake why? Yeah. So yeah, do you want to break the news, mate?
Yeah. It's just, I know it's something you've had in the pipeline for some time, and I was just listening to your podcast on my runs and things like that, as well as others, but I just, where I'm at with my job and my journey, I know there's so many people who are trying to do this themselves as well, in terms of replacing their income and leaving the day job. So I thought, wait, Angelos, why don't we do it together? you've done it already. I'm in the process of doing it now, and we both know so many people that have done it and want to do it. So we're just going to get it on pen to paper and write a book together, haven't we?
So it's provisionally called How to Sack Off.
So again?
Sack off your boss.
Sack off.
Yes, and it's going to be a way, or a few ways that you could potentially replace your job income and find that freedom of spending time with your family or doing the hobbies and passions that you have and you love, rather than having to be dictated to by a 9-to-5 job. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, and we're going to share our experiences, and we're going to help others try and do the same. So we're starting writing that one in a few months' time. Once I've got Property Nightmares published, which I can't wait to release.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And just looking back to when we first met on Valentine's Day, our anniversary, as we call it.
My next tattoo.
I just think it just shows the importance of networking, doesn't it? And just having that can-do attitude, which you've got spades of, because a lot of people would have heard that best man talk about the groom and say, look, yeah, he's got 5 properties this year and he's doing so well. Others were like, oh God, he's got 5 properties, boo, how's he done that, hiss. Whereas you've gone the opposite way, you've gone, actually, I'm inspired by that. How can I do that? And that's what I think is perhaps sadly lacking in this country a little bit, is when we see successful people, we don't necessarily think, how can I aspire to be like them? It's like, boo, try and take them down, oh, they have it easy, or they're lucky. And I think you've done the opposite of that, so full credit to you, Dan, and you're doing a fantastic job.
There's one thing as well, I found that kind of mentality from, again, I admire, but at the same time I'm not a massive fan of Grant Cardone, what he said about one of his books, or one of the things he was saying is, it's that mindset of, I can't afford it, it's not I can't afford it, or I can't do that, it's, well, how can I do that, how can I afford it, what do I need to do to get there, what do I need to do to afford it, I want that nice car, I can't afford it, no, what do I need to do to afford that car? And I think that switch in mentality and mindset for me has been the difference. Essentially, I need this cash flow to replace my day job. I can't do it. No, how can I do it? And that's where you work back, and I think that's the sort of thing we're going to be hopefully putting in the book to help others with.
Yeah, reverse engineering is
essentially
that. I want to be at point D and I'm at point A now. How do I make it happen? So yeah, we're going to give quite a few blueprints, I imagine, in the book on how people can follow and create their own little journey. So that'd be really cool.
Everyone's got any ideas for covers?
We have a few ideas, don't we, Dan? So
yes.
Yeah, all right. So
to be confirmed.
God, it's the cover, man. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
This is it.
You won't forget
your first cover shoot.
Yeah, we're going to employ ourselves.
Oh, okay.
We've done some fun there. Anyway, we digress.
Yes, we did.
Right, Mr. Daniel. So people no doubt have listened to this and thought, bloody hell, man. If he can do it, anyone can do it. How can people, if they've been inspired and perhaps they want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
For me, to be fair, it's probably socials, on the social media, Instagram, Facebook. I am closed on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm obviously trying to be a bit careful with how much I'm sharing with the public in terms of my day job, not trying to upset too many people. But yeah, by all means, reach out, send us a message on there.
So that's Dan Anson-Hart, Hart, H-A-R-T, yeah.
H-A-R-T, that's right. Dan Anson-Hart is outlook.com is my email if you want to email. But yeah, Instagram or Facebook is probably the easiest place.
Brilliant. Right, Dan. Well, look, it's been a real pleasure to interview you. I know you've become a good friend of mine over the past year. I can't wait to see, because we're going to do a part 2 of this, aren't we?
We are, yes.
We're going to do a part 2 once you've established yourself outside of work, and that chapter is ended and your new chapter begins, and we'll do a part 2 just to follow up, and we can talk perhaps a little bit more of the challenges that you face and some of the future projects that you're looking to do. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And again, holds me accountable as we're going to put a date on that. I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Cool. Thanks, Dan. Really, really good to have you here, mate. Like I said, if anyone wants to get in contact with you, check out the socials. They'll get in contact with you on there. So yeah, I've been Angelos. Thank you for listening at home or watching on YouTube. Check us out at yoursuccesspodcast.com, or reach out to us on all the socials. I'd love to hear from you. Perhaps you've been inspired by Dan's journey and want to share your journey, which would be absolutely brilliant. So I've been Angelos. Thanks again, Dan.
Thank you.
And see you again on the next exciting episode of Your Success Podcast.
You have been listening to Your Success Podcast. Click subscribe for more incredible content. More details can be found at www.yoursuccesspodcast.com.